Destiny 2 is coming very soon, and honestly, I can't wait to continue my Destiny experience. But before I can fully take in what's to come, I'd like to take a look back on what is past. This is an account of my Destiny experience from start to finish. Like many others, I played the Destiny beta back in 2014, excited for Bungie's next big step in gaming. I'm a fan of shooters, of course, including Halo and Call of Duty, so a proposed hybrid of the two seemed like an excellent idea. I had seen the previews, I had watched the streams, but nothing could really explain the game well like experiencing it firsthand. And I'll be honest, the opening mission sold me on Destiny. From the smooth mix of Halo and Call of Duty gameplay to the tense and awe-inspiring presentation and the phenomenal opening music track, The Fallen, I knew this would be a unique experience. I actually played the Destiny beta on Xbox 360, so obviously there was no direct way of screenshotting my gameplay. Instead, I relied on my phone's camera and took some pics of my created character hanging out in the tower. I played the game with a few of my friends, some of whom went on to buy the full game later. Sadly, I was a bit late in that regard, and I hadn't bought the game until July 2015. I'll skip over the details of my own apprehension in getting the game as well as more personal reasons, but I did get it in the end and experienced all of vanilla Destiny. I was happy I did. A lot of vanilla Destiny, even at this point, was quite grindy, but I didn't mind, mainly because it allowed me to chill and listen to podcasts. Some time passed and I was finally able to purchase my Xbox One in August of 2015, so I decided to rebuy Destiny on it. Luckily, all my account progress transferred directly over, thank goodness for account migration. I was amazed to see how good the graphical improvements were, and it made replaying certain aspects of the game even more fulfilling. Of course, this is around the time the next big expansion, The Taken King, was coming out. I was so excited to get it, especially because the Legendary Edition gave me access to the previous two DLC expansions. I was immediately blown away by how well they had developed Destiny's gameplay. Suffice to say that Taken King was Destiny in its prime. From the incredible story mission to the amazing new strikes, the awesome new Sunbreaker class for Titans, and of course the King's Fall raid. That was by far one of the hardest things I've accomplished in a game with other players, and I was happy when we finally took Oryx down. The raid itself was highly complex and had several tough challenge segments, jumping puzzles and bosses which required a lot of teamwork. One, in particular, took us so long we had so much trouble with it that we couldn't help but take a group picture upon defeating it. I'm looking at you, Golgoroth. The Taken King expansion consumed the bulk of my time at the end of 2015, leading me to play so many aspects of the game, including Trials of Osiris, which, trust me, I never actually played. This is actually when I got one of my best gaming moments in recent memory, a big play that I'll never forget. In fact, I had quite a few Destiny videos with no real pattern per se, but I had some good moments as well as decent matches with commentary, and you can view these on the unique Destiny playlist I've created. You can check the description for that link. Part of the appeal of Destiny was my love of sci-fi and space travel ever since I was a kid. A cartoon show named The Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers was actually one of my first real influences on my love of space sci-fi, and its theme song is forever memorable to me. As a result, I wanted to make a homage to the show using Destiny as a basis. I can proudly say I was able to do this. You can watch the video I created in the description down below, the link is also there. Now, the Taken King expansion made Destiny my most played game on Xbox One, and eventually one of my most played games of all time. If you check my profile stats on Xbox, you'll find my time clocked at some obscene hours. So of course, when the Rise of Iron expansion was announced for fall 2016, I was eager to get into that too. Whilst Rise of Iron wasn't a massive step forward compared to the Taken King, it was still an immensely enjoyable DLC package that gave me even more to do within Destiny. The story campaign was cinematic and fantastic, the new and remade strikes were challenging, but satisfying, and the raid was the perfect final trial for the game's true devoted. The Wrath of the Machine raid is deceptively simple for the most part, but upon reaching the game's final boss, you'll be greeted by a tough challenge that is damn near idiot-proof. No mistakes allowed, not a single player allowed to relax. It was intense, and I sadly couldn't complete it the first time, even though my raid group and I already knew how. Eventually, I gained the aid of players from the r/Destiny subreddit page, and I was able to fight my way back to the boss. However, upon reaching this point, I discovered that none of these players had ever beaten the boss. This is when I suddenly became the rushed leader and had to explain, in as best a way I could, what we were supposed to do to the boss. It wasn't easy, and it took several trial and error moments to finally get it done, but we did it. And let me tell you, the chill that came over me when we finally beat the boss, it's a very unique and magical feeling. It's what Destiny is all about. Oh, and when I met up with my raid group, we blazed our way through the raid in one sitting and took several group photos, as usual. I've had an immense amount of fun with Destiny, consistently over the several expansions, events, and bits of random content. Unique additions like SRL, the S.A.B.E.R Racing League, generated hours of fun. I recall meeting up every week with my friend Surreal Josh to attempt the weekly Challenge of Elders mission run. Also, I made sure to diligently pursue the task of lighting all the Iron Lord fires in the new social space introduced in the Rise of Iron expansion. After several failed attempts, I climbed to the top of the mountain in the social space too. And where I could, I tried to link up with random Destiny players to fight in the Archon's Forge, an awesome multiplayer PvE area where you can get some amazing loot. There's always something amazing to do in Destiny. As Destiny comes to an end and we welcome Destiny 2, I wanted to share my experience as well as provide a look at the many pieces of awesome weaponry, loot, and armor that I was proud of acquiring. To start with, these are my favorite weapons in the game, divided into primaries, secondaries, and heavies. As a side note, it was kind of impossible to keep track of literally every weapon I've actually really enjoyed, and some have been dismantled or deleted or replaced, so the weapons you'll see here are just mainly the ones I managed to keep and take pictures of to save for this final day. So I wouldn't necessarily say this is a definitive collection of the only weapons I've ever enjoyed, but in recent memory, these are the weapons that, like, overall, I genuinely enjoyed from the beginning of my time playing Destiny until now, so I'll go through them for you. The Zarania D, the Arminus D, the Genesis Chain, Hardlight, Kvostov 7G0X, which is actually the exotic version of the base starting weapon from the beginning of the game, the Monte Carlo. Norwin's Mercy got me through many a raid, you have no idea. Pest Control Matrix, Shadow Price, and the Saurus RA45, the Swordbreaker, Telesto, the Comedian, Two to the Morgue, Vestian Dynasty, Hereafter, probably the only sniper rifle I really cared about, Iron Reef D, probably my favorite secondary weapon in the game, and has carried me through so many PvE events, well, PvP events, I should say. And the Conspiracy Theory D, and honestly, there are plenty of other shotguns and stuff that I really enjoyed. Arc Edge, Boltcaster, which is the exotic version of the lightning sword. The Iron Gallowhorn speaks for itself. Sleeper Simulant, probably my favorite overall Taken King weapon. The Unseeing Eye. The Young Wolf's Howl. Thunderlord. So many Challenge of Elders moments with this. Fantastic. Unending Deluge 3. And The Truth. So with that done, I'll now just go through a bunch of the ships that I got. Fatal Vision, which I use for pretty much all of Rise of Iron. Cold Snap BKR, which was one of the first ones I got that I really liked. Light in the Abyss. Waning Star. Wolf Hunter BKR. And the Argonaut Carve. This one was really cool to get, particularly because we completed the hard mode of the King's Fall raid, so this was like a badge of honor, like, you know, you did it. Finally, in terms of loot, I'll show you a bunch of the Sparrows I got, and Sparrows are a bit more functionally useful because I actually drive around the planets with them, and some of the Sparrows I got were really cool, even though I didn't quite use all of them, especially after getting the Iron Gallowing. Sparrows themselves are genuinely quite awesome, so I actually amassed a decent collection, so I'll show my favorites. As I just mentioned, the Iron Gallowing, which pre-order bonus, so, you know, pay to win and all that. No, just kidding, it didn't have any better stats, it just looked really cool. The S35 Aeon Glow, S39 Autumn Glow, S34 Ravensteel, EV46 Bitstorm. You can't quite see it here, but it actually has electricity flowing through it. Unfortunately, the game catcher didn't quite pick that up, but, you know, it's fine. EV45 Bitfire, EV43 Light Runner, currently my overall favorite that I was actually using towards the end of Rise of Iron, EV35 Arc Runner, and the S41 Poison Apple. Last but not least, these are my completed armor sets. There are way too many armor pieces to appreciate and show, so instead, I'll show the armor sets which I completed and granted me a unique shader. And these include the Ascendant Plane for getting all of the Harrowed War Newman's armor from the Taken King raid, and Laurel Reef, completed for getting all of the Age of Triumph armor, which I was proud to do. And that brings me here, at my final stop before we're off to Destiny 2. I can happily and proudly say that I achieved the 400 light level cap in Destiny. I got a full set of Age of Triumph armor, as I just mentioned, and I can say goodbye to Destiny without any regrets. I know that I've experienced everything, absolutely everything that I wanted to do in Destiny, and I feel that the time is right to move on. If it wasn't already clear, Destiny is one of my favorite games of all time, and one of the best experiences in my life. Is giving me so many fantastic gameplay moments, so many awesome gaming sessions, laughs with friends, and incredible shouts of joy during victory. I trust and believe that Destiny 2 will continue to deliver a similar but enhanced experience that will enrich my lives in more ways that I can't imagine. I'll see you there, Guardian.